do like the fact that he do email sometimes, and that sometimes that still is good and bad, because he be wanting a response. He want me to respond to like every part of the email, and my mind don't go like that. I found my sentences like this, but I'm
you find your word in that message.
And that's what I'm gonna respond to.
Don't hear nothing else. What?
I think once the temperature gets to a certain degree, it's really nothing that can be done in that moment. It's easy to say that you can calm down or like, let's try to talk it out. But once you get to that peak, you only hear all the bad stuff. So you just latch on to those things, and then you fire back at all the negativity that may come, or it may not even be brought to you as negativity, but you take it that way because you're angry and you're frustrated at that moment.
Instead, he gonna email me and say, we'll be doing something, having a good time, and he like, oh yeah, I went to lunch with Shaquilla or whatever, and I'm like, why are you waiting to tell me that now?
And I think the difference is women being more emotional. Y'all gotta get that emotion out. Whereas men, we can't always just be crying our feelings out. So we gonna wait like,
then y'all gonna call us weak.
I feel like we should sit next to each other. They should sit next to each other.
Because I feel like if it's the women, it's gonna kill him to really be like, you right. Okay, we got this issue. I'm about to set a timer. You can say whatever you want to say, mean, whatever. When the timer go off, it's done. But one thing he'll try to do is hog the most time. Sunday nights was our dump night, where we'll get in bed and then we'll just let it all out. Anything that's going on, good, bad, funny, sad, whatever. That was one way we communicated.
When you marry into a family, do you take on that family as well?
I'm gonna let you speak first.
And I'm gonna dig a little deeper. Do you take on that family, and what are you taking on? And then what's okay to take in, and what's the absolute no?
Okay. I'm gonna say you take on some of the family.
Okay.
I'll start there. I have been married before. He has been married before, so a lot of stuff that I felt like was trial and error in my first marriage. I'm like, okay, I know I don't want that. Me personally, I'm big on family, so I love family. I love family nights and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, if it's just our intermediate family, I'm okay with that too. Because sometimes you can get lost into other situations. And I mean, as far as even parents having they say so, siblings having they say so, you've been living your life so long a certain type of way that sometimes family feel like you can't do this or try to put limits on whatever. I feel like once you marry, then that's on that. But I don't want to get off subject. But in our situation, he did take on all of my family. I'm not as close to his family as he is to mine, though I would love that. But a lot of them don't live here, and he's don't see them as often as he see my family. So I would say that he kind of took on my family. He took on my family. I ain't really took on his, like I said, I ain't like that, but I will if they were around.
Your family gonna make sure that they get took in there. So I don't think he had much of an option.
Yeah, you're right. You're right on that.
They gonna make sure that they get in. What do you think?
I think in the basic makeup of marriage, a lot of times it is the man who ends up being a part of the wife's family more so than the wife being a part of the man's, because I'm not going to say there's a disconnect, but the emotional part is not there. And even if I had close relationships with my cousins, which I don't, I still feel more of a need to be a part of her family, just for acceptance, so they'll know she's in good hands. Being a protector and a provider goes beyond me just protecting her. Like me personally, I do feel like her sisters become my sisters, so it's important to me, just like with her son, he becomes my son. So because of that, I do have the need to build relationships with not just sisters, cousins, who's ever in her general circle, friends, whatever. My natural makeup is to make sure that I'm cool with all these people because I want them comfortable around us as a whole. Problems will come if she doesn't feel like I should be that close. You know, those are issues that we've had where it's like, okay, case in point, if she is at odds with a family member, in my past, my thing would be, okay, let me see what I can do to help this relationship because, you know, that's what I'm here for. Her thing is, no, that's not your place. That's not your business. So now that could have been a conflict. And it was at first, and now I'm fighting what I'm naturally supposed to be doing versus what she wants. Right. But at the end of the day, that's your family. So let me just fall
back. I'm trying to tell you, I used to try to be the peacemaker and be right in the middle. I'm done with y'all.
I'm good, you know.
So that's what I was explaining to him. Like we gonna get over it, but I would hate for something to go left with y'all. Now it's like
exactly.
I gotta get cool with you and try to get y'all back cool. Like instead you just be neutral.
Absolutely. I personally I think family is very important. My family is very family oriented. But I also think that there's a cutoff. I'm
glad we agree. I was worried about when it got to me, y'all.
I believe that family can weigh down a marriage if you allow it to.
Yeah.
Because naturally, your family, you feel like a protector to your family. And then, especially if you're like my wife, the person that everybody goes to and tunnel all their problems and things through, and she tries to delegate and solve all these problems. One person shouldn't have to do that, but I tell her all the time that you have to separate yourself from that. You have to sometimes say, nah, I ain't in it. But she liked that. You know, women like to be in the middle of stuff.
So
they like to hear it.
I like to help
They like
my people.
Yeah, you like to want to know and be in there.
Want to know.
Get on my nerves.
And then she on there looking for stuff just as much as them. Like, hey, y'all all full-blown detectives, but y'all can't find y'all wig. That's in the other room. Like, you know what I mean? So I do think that it's imperative to be a part of and definitely be make yourself known in the family. But I do think that you should separate yourself when that time comes. To just allow family to do what family needs to do, or allow yourself not to be pulled into family things all the time. And this goes with friends as well. Friends are just as detrimental as family. So I think
detrimental.
Because she has a lot of women in her family, she kind of forced me to kind of like be in the midst of, because I'm like, bro, every time I go to an event, it's 20 women. I'm the only dude. I'm just sitting here.
But it's no different. You are the only dude sometimes when it's your family.
Nah, but you're, that's fine. You can fit in that mold because you're a female.
Yeah, but you're the only dude oftentimes.
I could be the only dude in my family.
That's supposed to be,
Yeah,
you're supposed to be taking them on as your family.
No, I'm saying, yes, I do, but I'm saying that it's different when you grew up with all these girls versus being put into
he ain't keeping, he think my family ghetto, so he don't be like that.
I was trying to
he don't be like,
put it all on us.
Okay, put it out there. He think y'all ghetto.
They all something else.
Comment below and tell him about himself.
I'm telling you, so I wasn't gonna go that route, but they have their ways.
They're different.
They are different.
And I think because it's majority women,
it depends on who.
Women, they carry things, and there's always something going on. It's just be like, all right. But my family don't not add to that as well. The females in my family, they add to that as well. Because I think we're split even, but we have more older men. Our men are like spread out, but the more younger bunch are more the women. So that's who kind of hang in packs, and she hang in the pack with them. And they all kind of like, they collectively like, you can't really tell who is what part of the family if you just walk in, because they all act alike, they all do the same stuff, and they all kind of get along in the same way. So, which they all keep up what they keep up, you know. They all ghetto. My family.
Anyway, my take on it is, I think so by Terry having a child before we got married, I definitely think you take on the kids. Like, if you're not taking on the child, you should. I don't even know how the person married you, so you have to take on the children. I do agree with the boundaries of the family, and I mean, I think you take them on right as long as it's loving, as long as it's positive vibes, as long as it's good. Once it starts to get messy or draining to the marriage, or even like if my husband is taking a break, it's just break time. And not to be mean about it, it's just break time. I think sometimes you have to know, so this is a big one that I talk to other women about, which is, you guys don't probably have the issue, but like mothers and sons is like a big one. And like,
what you trying to say?
I'm just saying. I'm saying with the mama's boys sometimes it's real. Like, I feel like they have to know the boundaries too, because they'll like try to take care of 2 households and then it become an issue sometimes, I think. But anyway,
you want to be my mama and you don't want my mama to be my mama, and that's why you like, hey, look, I'm his mama now, right? That's what it is.
No, I'm saying like sometimes. Okay, so this is what I think. I think that in our generation, a lot of mothers didn't get married. There are some that were married, but there are a lot of mothers that were single mothers, and those single mothers became like dependent on their children. So as their children grew up and grew older, they looked to their, especially the sons. Yeah. So they looked to their sons like, okay, this is what I need. Can you come do this? I need this, I need that. By the time that son goes off and he's getting married, it's just becoming like you running out to go do this and go do that and go do this and go do that. But you got your married household. So that's like a thing. It's not a major thing for us because you kind of got to a point where you're like, okay, look, I have to do this for my household. I cannot keep doing that. But it's a major thing. And I've talked to a lot of people where that is a thing.
It has to be a balance there.
It has to be a balance there. And so those are the type of things that I think, yes, you take the family on, but you have to know when to balance. You have to know if cousin Keisha is messy, you got to, not my cousin, but if cousin Keisha is messy, you gotta know to let cousin Keisha go. And I mean, it's okay. Take your break. Me and my husband, we need a break and we can't. And then sometimes people be too messy and they be trying to speak to you, speak to your husband, don't speak to you, speak to you, don't speak to you. Like, all that messy stuff is a no for me.
Yeah.
So, that's what I think.
Absolutely.
That's good.
I would agree with you on that too. In my last marriage, it was like that. I wasn't close with none of his family. His mother wasn't, not trying to do nothing, but she wasn't close to him and close to LJ and things like that. So now that we're married, his mom is like, I'm like, oh, heaven sent. My mom passed away and I've always wanted that type of love for him. So I love the fact that she does respect boundaries with us. I can talk to her on the phone for a whole hour and he won't even know we talked that day and things like that or whatever. So I do like the fact that she does respect boundaries not just like pulling him away from us in some sense or away from home.
And not even intentional. They may not even realize they're doing it, but it's hard for a son to tell a mother no, right? Yeah, so if you pulling me, I need this financially, and then you don't know he's struggling financially, then it just becomes a mess. But that's awesome. I love that. So for the most part, Caine, you feel like you take everyone on. You don't feel like there's really a reason why you don't take anyone on. You kind of love and take them on, and that's how it is.
Naturally for me, yeah.
That's good.
Like I said, I had to adjust that in our relationship, but naturally for me, it's like I'm that person that sees certain things going left, and if I think there's something I can do, then I want to try to, but I learned how to pull back from that in our relationship.
I think that's a good thing in you, though. Yeah. Especially if it's would you pull it back if it was her sisters?
Yeah, I had to because, and especially with her sisters.
Okay.
Because the thing about her sisters is, no, the thing is, they'll argue and cuss each other out, and then 10 minutes later they FaceTime and like It's just, so it's like, so for that, it's like, okay, I'm not even gonna get in that, whatever. And one of her sisters, I did have a little tiff with over an issue, and I knew that I had to correct that because she's gonna be here forever, and gradually we, came back together, whatever. And those things will happen. So,
yeah, they will. Yeah. Have I ever gotten to it with one of your sisters?
No, my sister laid hands, so no.
His wife too. Have you ever had any issues?
They've always been like really, really close. I mean, to the point where I don't even got to be involved at this point.
Right.
So no, you guys you've been tight, but you went to school together and you kind of knew each other already.
One of my sisters cussed you out before, though, haven't you?
Oh, your sister didn't like you for a long time. Like your sisters they didn't really care for nobody earlier in their little childhood, and they didn't really care for nobody when you got older. They was really protective over you. I just had to kind of, mac my way in, you know what I'm saying?
But I'm like, if I were to
ain't
get
that
into it with them, I
something?
feel like they family.
Every time she introduced me to somebody, they would pull me over to the side. Well, you better treat her right. I'm looking, no, she better treat me right. Wait a minute now. Like, I'm the great guy. Like,
And that's funny you say that, because I've had to tell people that. Like, they'll be like, oh, I'm so happy for you. You deserve that. As if he don't deserve it too. And I think sometimes people forget that. Like, nah.
I think that's the one thing that men have to go through. More so than women. Like, they automatically figure like we are going to be the one that does the woman wrong or treat her wrong or something. They always give us that pep talk, like wait a minute, I'm emotionally tied to this too. Like, I'm just as invested as she is. So you should have put us both together. Like, you know what? You guys better treat each other right. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Something like that. But
Yes, let's start doing that, because we just saw a wedding where
we're not gonna talk about it.
we just saw a wedding where they kept approaching the guy and saying like, treat her right and you better, or you gonna be to the point it turned out to be like a
rude.
negative.
It was very
rude. It was like, wow.
A family will do that, like, and not in a malicious way. I don't believe. I just think that the way they came off and the timing that it was like it was during the toast and stuff like that.
Yeah, time to give the good speeches.
It's time to be like, hey, uplifting the whole thing,
welcoming.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no, it was very.
unwelcoming.
right.
Sure. So so it's definitely imperative to love your spouse's family, but then be able to create a distance when needed.
I agree.
Absolutely. I agree.
So, you guys, because you may mention, you both was in previous marriages, right? So tell us, or tell the people about, how did you come about knowing and understanding that marriage wasn't the one, and then finding new love and being able to open up and allowing yourself to be remarried?
You first this time.
You first.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Right.
No, so my marriage was dissolving for a while. I got into that state of I'm here for my kids. And it was like my youngest son was, when we first started being on the decline, my youngest son might have been like 10. I still had 8 years to be here. But when we talked about separating, it was like, well, who's gonna take the kids? She's like, well, they coming with me. And I'm like, no, they wanna go with me. And so it was like, okay, so that's not gonna work. So we gonna have to make this work. Hopefully, once they're out of the nest, we can see how it goes from there. Once they were out of the nest, it didn't change. It actually got a little worse. And that's when I knew, like, this is not working for me. During that time, for me, of course, some people were always saying, like, would you marry again? Especially when I left and we were separated. Like, would you think you would marry again after your divorce, blah, blah. And there was part of me that was like, I don't know. And even meeting Q having a younger child, my kids are grown and gone, and to start over was like, can I do that? My stepson in my previous marriage, father was not present at all. It was easy for him to for me to become dad to him because he didn't have a real dad there. Now I have to take on this challenge of a kid whose dad is somewhat there. And to teach him that I'm not trying to replace his father, I'm the bonus dad. And that was a struggle because in his eyes, it was always, you're not my dad, you're not my dad. And I had to show him like, well, technically I am your dad because I'm here, I'm taking care of you, I'm raising you, I'm trying to mentor you and show you, so I am your dad. I'm not gonna force it on him by using the word dad.
Right.
However, I was loving on him like a dad and I was disciplining him like a dad. Gradually he saw that. He saw what I was doing. And I always just tell him, like, she would make me express it too, like, I'm loving on you. I'm doing this out of love. And gradually he saw that, he nurtured it, he really accepted it, and that's how we grew from that.
That's good.
Yeah. So
that is dope.
And that's kind of like, us to say about the remarrying. So for me, it wasn't that marriage was just this terrible thing that I'll never get married again. It was, how will I know when the time is right? And the time was right.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna say it's like that. So my previous marriage, it was, everybody know. But anyway, I felt like we did it from the beginning. We didn't really take into consideration what it really takes to be a wife and a husband.
That's right.
Even though we had counseling beforehand and things like that, but I don't feel like we was really serious like we should have been. That was our first mistake. We had no communication. It was just like a business agreement or like a roommate type situation where it was like I could never come and express myself. He'd never expressed himself to me, so we never had a genuine attachment to each other. So when things start going left, it was easy to walk away and look back because no one really was accountable for a lot of things that we did. So that was our downfall. Now me, I am just heavy on love. Like I love. I'm gonna tell y'all, when I first met Caine, I couldn't stand him. I did not like him. He turned my baby away. I tried to say it every day for his football team. But anyway.
He turned him away.
Get that scrawny kid on. Talking about he fast.
Years down the line, we had met. We linked up again. Didn't know we were co-workers at the same job. But anyway, I had spoke this years ago. Like, if we ever have an opportunity, I don't care who I'm with, I'm leaving them alone. For Caine, it was crazy. So he better thank Ronisha because she ran into him and FaceTimed me. So that's how. But anyway,
because she knew you told her that too.
She already told everybody.
Yeah,
I'm the one who orchestrated all of this.
She murdered that.
But when I, even watching him, even back when he was coaching, you could tell that he was a great guy. Just the way the kids gravitated towards him, and I was like, "Oh, that's what I'm talking about."
Oh, you was
like,
checking him out.
I was peeping because I feel like that's important. Like,
until he made her mad.
But I'm just saying, you can just see how a person carry themselves, the type of people they're around, and how they are with those people. Now, I never had met his mom before then, so I couldn't tell you how he treated his mom, but it was just something that I knew. And then once we started like dating, I was like, oh, but it's always good in the beginning, so you got to be careful because you try your best in the beginning. You pulling out your best outfits and you acting like you got all this patience in the world. And I'm just kind of like, oh man, when is this going to die down? Because I know he ain't just this sweet like all the time.
Still there.
Still there.
I will say, he's still there. Like, he still got it. But that's how I do it.
That's right.
It was the book for me when y'all were dating.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness, I still remember it. That was so cute. Do you remember the book? It was so.
He was
He
still becoming.
He came aggressive.
did, definitely.
So, you kind
That was a good question though.
Have had our household like, oh, you see this? Good, you talk about it. Nah, yeah. So that was. You got anything else?
I don't. I think it's been amazing.
Yeah. We
Thanks for having us.
Truly
We
appreciate
appreciate
you
having
guys for coming and talking. With
Top
us.
that next couple up.
Oh yeah.
Because this the first couple, okay?
They came heat. They came heat.
Cass is in the building.
Hey.
I don't think there is no topic.
let me
Second to
I'll let you make the announcement.
Second to none. I'm sorry, we don't do East Side announcements. No, just
No, you don't really like this.
Yes,
I gotta
you
give
will.
y'all props. And I thought it was the sweetest
Don't
thing ever.
do it.
And so LJ did get accepted to Caine.
oh,
We didn't register him yesterday, but let me
That's
just
good.
share this with y'all. I thought it was so sweet, and that's another thing too. Because he went to Cass, LJ been dying to get in Cass, and when he finally got in there, just the excitement from both of them, I was like, it's just a good feeling to know, like, he got somebody helping with his homework. I thought I was about to say something good.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
I didn't go to Cass, so that worked out.
congrats, LJ. You are at the best school ever.
I'm not gonna say that, but congrats. To MJ.
Right, for
Congrats to
real.
MJ, you know what I mean? And again, we want to say that we appreciate you both for coming and speaking with us and allowing yourself support your positive energy into us and teaching us some things about communication that we
For
are
sure.
definitely going to use.
Yeah.
And even about love within itself, we can definitely see the true love that you guys share. This is not to say that everything is all good all the time and everything, but the fact that you guys are always willing to fight and try new things to make the relationship better and to make the marriage last longer, because we can definitely see it.
Definitely.
I do want to say this. This platform in itself is great. I love what you
you.
guys are doing. I
Thank you.
love seeing your interaction and having other people come on here and talk. Getting groups of people together to come talk and just talk about what's going on. It helps with that communication. It helps people relate and get other people's views and intake on it, or just to dump it all out
Yeah.
in a setting where, okay, now we know we can't yell and scream at each other, and now we can communicate. You know what I'm saying? We can do this. And I think that can help a lot. So I love what
Thank
you're
you.
doing. Keep it up. I don't care if you only get 2 views a week.
That's
Keep
right.
doing it, you know, because
Thank
you're
you.
getting through to us. I'm watching every week, so.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
And I just want to say too, like, I'm very grateful for this. I was so excited we was coming on here. And, you know, I'm so positive. I always see things forward. I'm a dreamer. When I sat down, I was like, dang, Terry, I already see this thing where people going to be able to call in and be like,
That's nice.
respond to this. And I literally was sitting here and I'm like, I already see it. And we're going to be like taking people requests.
That's
You
nice.
see a week because I'm coming back. But I'm just saying, I really see that. And I feel like this is awesome for both of y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
We definitely want you guys to come back.
For sure.
Definitely, we don't want you guys to make this a one-time thing. Come back and share more. When things are rough, come back. We want that too. We want that true, authentic. Yeah, we want it. We want it. Look,
We need it.
if we had a camera ready yesterday, I'd have just pressed record. Like,
Oh
man,
my God, this real. Like,
But they came and literally helped our whole yesterday. Like literally came with communication tips and everything. So
Yeah, I had some paperwork yesterday.
he did. He wanted divorce papers.
Wait, okay,
And I was ready to
I know
DoorDash
he getting
him.
ready to leave, but why do men always be ready to break up first? He didn't dump me like some men. I was like, I tell him even after we got cool, I'm like, even though I be mad,
I do not say
that. Go. Like you ready to go.
It doesn't ever come out of my mouth. It always come out his mouth.
It's
Oh, yeah,
because
too. He
I
dump
think
me. I get dumped all the time.
I think because for me, because I'm not that emotional, or I feel like I don't create conflict. I don't really like conflict or anything like that. So when it comes, it's just like the level of frustration, because I'm
read me the papers.
I'm real mild-mannered. I don't really get there, but when I get there, it's everything out the window. It's like, all right, look, you can go, and everything with you can go, and then I can figure out what else is next. You know, the kids coming with me. I'm not getting married again. Don't worry about none of that. And all that stuff. I play all that. I'm like, yep, I'm knocking down, you know, and everything.
That's a man thing.
It gotta be.
It could be.
It has
She say
to be.
the same thing. She's like,
I
why?
didn't even say I was breaking up. I'm just mad right
Just
now.
mad.
I'm
Like
coming right back.
Why are we getting divorced again?
Right. So.
You see, I'm gonna be mute on this one. Thanks for having us on the show.
Thanks again, guys. Subscribe, comment. Make sure that you share when we make the post. Share to everybody. Subscribe.
Yes, and don't forget if you have any
friends and family when we post it.
Any topics. Don't forget if you have any topics that you would like to discuss, or if you would like to be on the show, email us at allstringsattached2u@gmail.com. So allstringsattached2u@gmail.com.
And I guess we're gonna get a phone number so you guys can call in. Thanks. That's coming up next. So
That's a good idea.
And that's it.
Thank you.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.